Welcome back to Lotus on Track, where we've moved from Silverstone to the legendary Nürburgring circuit for the opening round of the Lotus Cup Europe, which is celebrating an upgrade in status to being an FIA International Series for 2013 as the category goes from strength to strength.
I signed with ES a couple of months ago, and the James Taylor Group decided they wanted me to learn the European tracks and also fight for an FIA title, so hence why I'm here today now, so I'm really happy though.
It's my first time in Lotus Cup Europe, and I feel good in my car and I feel good in the circuit, so I hope tomorrow it will be a good race for me.
It's a very, very nice day for me to make race with my son, and to make race with his son is very fantastic.
This is the first race. Actually, it's not only the first race with Cup Europe, but the first race ever. I've been doing some yachting, and it was time for a change. So I think, well, let's start racing. Did some track days, and well, I like engineering, so I rebuilt the car to a racing car, and then, well, see how it gets on track in between the other guys.
It is the first race, and I'm very excited to be here. It's really good fun. I haven't tried anything like this before. I've done karting with my sons, and then in the end it was just me. And then I thought I have to go into a bigger thing, like a car. So I found this one with this lovely spoiler on it and a beautiful V6 engine, a lovely sound. It's got sequential gearbox, and it's just wonderful. And it's great fun.
What wasn't so fun was the pouring rain that greeted the drivers for qualifying, which gave us a grid that looks a little bit like this, with Nicholas Walker in pole position from Gregory Rass and Herbert Metzger and Jeremy Lorenko on row 2, Christophe Lisandre and Xavier Georges completing the third row from Philippe Loup, Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet, Nicolas Ibsen and Nicolas Ferrer, rounding out a very multinational and varied top 10 here at Nürburgring in the Lotus Cup Europe. 11th place then Frank Berger from Thierry Verheest. Then we've got Anthony Fournier and Dave Carr. David Harvey solidly up in the midfield in 15th position alongside Jean-Baptiste Loup on row 8. Then Thomas Daib, the first of the production runners, in 17th. Alongside him, Nathalie Genou-Prachet. Then Mike Janssen in 19th with Sven Pettersson rounding out the top 20. The rest of the field completed by Laurent Febvre, Charlotte Burridge, Jean Potier and Kees Versluis, rounding out the 24 cars that qualified. A very, very healthy grid for the Lotus Cup Europe's first race. It's an FIA sanctioned series. We get green flag for the march to the rear of the pack. The red lights are on here at the Nürburgring. Out they go. It is a brilliant start from Jeremy Lorenko, who rockets clear in the red to 11th. Fantastic get away from him. Herbert Metzger has also got off the line well. Nicholas Walker less so strongly away as they cascade into the first turn. Also, Gregory Rass has made a good start in the bright right before, but it's Lorenko who leads. Klaus Jimson further back, able to successfully negotiate the first turn as Rass moves clear of Metzger as they accelerate into the braking zone for turn 3, riding over the curbs in a very tight turn 4 before they swoop off downhill on the fast and flowing section of this Nürburgring Grand Prix. Track battles already forming up throughout the field, which is exactly what we want to see here. Philippe Loup, as ever, to be found in the thick of the action, currently in 4th position, into the bottom cambered turn 7 hairpin before they begin the very, very steep climb up the hill. Turns 8 and 9, absolutely exhilarating. Then come over this crest into turn 10. You can overtake here if you're maybe close enough. Herbert Metzger, though, busy withstanding the pressure from Philippe Loup, who is all over his tail. Nicholas Walker slipped back. Zipson having a good battle in his new upgraded, somewhat larger toy. What about what's going on production class? Looks like that's being led at the moment by Laurent Febvre, as Philippe Loup still in 4th position, accelerates out of turn 11 on to the very quick right-hander of turn 12, then climbs up into this final chicane, made legendary really in the 1995 European Grand Prix, when Henri Schumacher dove past John Lacey in a not dissimilar fashion to the move that Nicholas Ibsen has just made as he looks to elevate himself up through the order. That was Nicolas Frere who he picked his way past, as Philippe Loop has been demoted and somewhat aggressively, not sure quite what waving his rival's going to achieve at the chicane, but it really is single file, and if you go in side by side, actually a rather aggressive cutting up is really the least of your concerns. Meanwhile, at the head of the pack, still the battle raging between Jeremy Lorenko and Gregory Rass as they plunge downhill very, very heavily on the brakes into the turn 1 hairpin. Lorenko covering the inside line, Rass looking for a slightly more swooping approach. Metzger there in 3rd place there, round turn 2. Gregory Rass still on the reel of Lorenko. Maybe think about the move into turn 3, but Lorenko has covered the inside line nice and early, or looks to do exactly the same for turn 4. It means that Rass can't get onto turns. We then got a big gap back with this battle with Philippe Loop, who's on the tail of Xavier Georges, as the pair of them head downhill, and Gregory Rass looks to make the move on Lorenko on the brakes into the chicane. Nothing doing there though for Rass, so he has to content himself with 2nd position for the time being, although it's only a matter of time maybe before he's able to make his way through. Nathalie Genou-Prachet heading David Harvey in the next group of cars, busy having battle a little bit lower down the order as now Rass lines up the move on Lorenko into the hairpin. Can he get through? No, he can't quite. Again, Jeremy Lorenko having to work very hard here to cover the racing lines. Albert Metzger in a not dissimilar position. There is Nicholas Walker in the first of the Exige V6 Cup R's. Leading the production class at the moment is Laurent Fevre, although he has got Charlotte Burridge and Thomas Dehaib closing up right on his tail. And is this going to be the moment at which Gregory Rass goes through for lead? No, it's not. And still Jeremy Lorenko withstanding the pressure from Rass, but he's now got the run into the final turn, and Rass is going to go through here. Surely he does. Takes the lead of the race. Down the order, Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet and Nicolas Gibson having a good battle within the top 10 as we see a challenge for the lead of the production class as well. This is the final time through the chicane, and it's going to be Thomas Dehaib who snatches victory in the production class from Laurent Fevre with just 1 corner to go, despite the best efforts of Fevre to fight back. And overall, it is Gregory Rass who has claimed the opening victory of the season here at the Nürburgring, by some 5 seconds over Jeremy Lorenko. So let's have a look then at those final results, with victory for Gregory Rass, Jeremy Lorenko in 2nd, Xavier Georges completing the podium from Christophe Lisandre, and Nicholas Walker in 5th. Jean-Pierre Genou-Prachet did withstand the challenge for Nicolas Gibson. In terms of the classes, and the 211s, Jeremy Lorenko victorious from Xavier Georges and Christophe Lisandre. The Open class, David Harvey scoring the honours. The Exige Cup went the way of Anthony Fournier from Dave Carr and Jean-Baptiste Loop, and then in the V6 Cup, Gregory Rass winning it from Nick Walker and Nicolas Ibsen. In the production class, Thomas Dehaib with that bold move winning on the final lap from Laurent Fevre, and Charlotte Burridge completing the podium. So the hard business of racing finished. Now time for the drivers to receive the spoils of victory on the Nürburgring rostrum.
The reason we use the road test dyno is extremely accurate, calibratable, and we're measuring power at the hubs, which are mechanical link 1-to-1, so the readings are very, very reliable. If you're measuring and trying to estimate what the flywheel's producing, there's variables obviously involved, whereas what we're measuring for is what's actually able to use to the car, to the ground.
Well, with the elevation to FIA status, scrutineering also has to come up a notch, hence the very, very tight controls that give us a very evenly matched grid, one that looks very menacing. We look back from John Walker to Gregory Rass getting ready for the rolling start here at the Nürburgring in car with John Walker, eyes fixed ahead as away we go. And it's Walker who sprints into the early advantage from Rass, and then it's Jeremy Lorenko who's looking to climb up into 2nd. Maybe he's hung out to dry though on the outside line through the first hairpin. He's got the inside line then for turn 2, but Gregory Rass in the white Aurora swoops around the outside of Lorenko and should go up in 2nd. All the while though, John Walker sprinting clear. The rest of the field all cleanly through. And yes, looking behind from John Walker as he heads out of turn 4. Rass is up into 2nd, Lorenko into 3rd, Laurent Fevre, Xavier Georges rather, in 4th, seeing off the challenge of Laurent Fevre and Christophe Lisandre. as they climb up the hill. And John Walker trying to disappear as best he can from the rest of the field. Frenetic battling to be found elsewhere, accelerating then on towards the chicane, bringing to an end this opening lap of the race. And Gregory Rass trying to get on terms with John Walker. The real battle though, probably one going on between Xavier Georges and Jeremy Lorenko for third and fourth. A pair of them engaged in pretty tight tussle. Also Dave Carr and David Harvey have found company to play with. That's Anthony Fournier, who they're busy doing battle with through chicane. Fournier clattering over the curbs, pushing Dave Carr out wide. That gives David Harvey the opportunity to gain ground, as all the while head of the field John Walker moving clear of Jeremy Lorenko, Xavier Georges and Gregory Rass. Those three having an excellent scrap. It's Lorenko currently in second position. Rass has climbed up then to third position. Xavier Georges demoted into fourth, but those three all looking for the last couple of steps on the rostrum here at Nürburgring, accelerating through this tight stadium section. David Harvey and Dave Carr still doing battle with Anthony Fournier. So they all constantly rapping each other on the brakes through the hairpin, accelerating on his way though. Fournier's got the advantage. Philippe Loup and Christophe Lisandre also having a good battle. It's Loup just clear of Lisandre. Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache closing in as well. And surprisingly muted paint scheme for Lisandre this season. He's often renowned for his multicoloured efforts. At the moment though, he is right up behind the bright red 211 of Philippe Loup as they pick their way through the stadium section, accelerating to take the checkered flag. And victory in the second race of the year though is Jonathan Walker, who has driven superbly here at the Nürburgring all weekend, and he takes the win. So let's have a look at the results. It is the win for John Walker. Second place Gregory Rass, with Jeremy Lorenko completing the podium from Philippe Loup, Xavier Georges and Christophe Lisandre. Jean-Pierre Genu-Prache in seventh and Nicolas Ibsen in eighth. In terms then of the group classifications, well, for the 211s, Jeremy Lorenko from Philippe Loup and Xavier Georges. Once more in the open group, it is David Harvey who is victorious. Amongst the Exige Cup runners, Nicolas Ferrer seeing off the challenge of Anthony Fournier and Dave Carr. And John Walker claiming V6 Cup honours from Gregory Rass and Nicolas Gibson. In the production runners, Thomas de Habib makes it a double at the Nürburgring from Laurent Febvre and Charlotte Burridge.
I believe it's the first time you win a race.
Yes, it's my first time, yeah, so I'm very happy.
It's been a good weekend for me. I know that track well. It's not going to be the same story, I believe, on other tracks.
So the first round of the season completing. This is what the standings looks like in the 211s. It's Jeremy Lorenko who leads the way from Xavier Georges and Christophe Lisandre. David Harvey heads the open class from Kai Kederholm. In the Exige Cup, Anthony Fournier has 10 points over Dave Carr and Nicolas Ferrer. And the V6 Cup, very tight, but it's Gregory Rass who's got the advantage from Nicolas Ibsen and Thierry Verheest. Amongst the production class runners, well, Thomas de Habib with the double victory, 12 points clear of Laurent Febvre, with Charlotte Burridge in third. And in terms then of the overall standings, it's early in the season, but it's Jeremy Lorenko who has an 8-point lead from Thomas de Habib, with Anthony Fournier also in very close attention, just a point clear of Xavier Georges. Well, that's it from this week's edition of Lotus on Track. Join us in a couple of weeks' time for more action as we leave you with scenes of celebration from the Nürburgring.